my name is Rage, and welcome to an all-to-a Rage perspective on the Stanley Parable, a game. I've already told you everything I know about this game. I realise this is a Rage perspective, okay? And what I also like is, for once, I didn't stop speaking halfway through my sentence because I'd forgotten what I was going to say. For once, that was a deliberate part of the entertainment. Like the intro, you motherfuckers. Okay, so aggressiveness aside, just pushed it to the right. You can push it to the left if you want, but I find aggressiveness on the left tends to stew a bit more than aggressiveness to failure. Aggressiveness on the right, which, you know, tends to freeze a little bit, and then you can reclaim it at your own. Like if I pull it back into the middle and then push it back over to the right, the aggressiveness is gone. Alright, so now that I finished talking bullshit, the Stanley Parable, everyone. No idea what this is about. Everyone who I've spoken to who has played this game has told me, don't look up anything, don't know anything that happens, what you do, just don't know things and play it. So I apologise before I begin at the lack of informatorial that's going to be in this Rage perspective. I realise there's never that much informatorial in Rage perspective, but I at least try and explain things, whereas in this, I got nothing for you. All I can tell you is it's on Steam. So there we go. I'm going to press begin the game. Okay.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Well, okay then. I actually shut up during a narration! So...
something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Well, okay then. I'm going to turn up the audio because to me it sounds quiet, so to you guys the narration probably also sounds quiet, so I hope you can hear it. You should be able to if I'm not talking, because that's generally how it works. So this is interesting, isn't it? No idea what you do, but apparently it's a game about a guy called Stanley who does the most boring job in the world, and then one day he doesn't do his job. Can I just... oh, I can't just hide into the desk. Okay. So far, the first impression that RPs are, intrigued. That's how I'd summarize this. Can I go in here? No. Can I shut my door? I can't shut my door! Can I open my door again? No! No, did I even shut it? Or did it shut by itself? Ooh! Can I open? No, I'm just trying to interact with everything.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Fair enough. I'm going to turn it up a little bit more. Fuck it, max volume everyone. Let's be honest, sometimes you just gotta take a risk. Ooh, it's a fax machine. That's a fact. Fax. Fax machine. It's a fax. I'm gonna move on rapidly to the meeting room, which the outside of the office. I know this city well. It's the city of light. It's very hard to see where anything is, honestly. There's no wonder he works all day, because you can't go home without stepping into what is a holy nova of sun energy that has expanded across the cosmos and burns everything deaf. It burns everything deaf. In fact, the only thing left of the world is this office. So honestly, this job's not soul crushing. It's saving his life. Can I open the door again, please? Thank you. No, not that door. Okay. Where is meeting room? Seems like a very boring place to work. Not just because of the job, but everything's just so
Stanley
crap.
went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
That seems kind of self-aware of the narrator there. Probably should have looked up a little bit, but you know, it's I hate the disrespect your surroundings. Okay, so it's a nice picture. That's a picture of pre-Supernova world where everyone was still alive and grass was a thing and not an extinct species.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
What? No, he didn't. Okay, is this the gimmick of this game? Okay, so it's just told me that Stanley entered the door on the left, but I could be like, fuck you, narrator, and go in the door on my right. But maybe they're expecting you to disagree with the narrator, so you go on your left, but maybe they expect you to have that thought process and go on the right anyway. I bet it actually makes no difference. I bet this room is just designed to make you have the thought processes that I'm currently having, so I'm just going to go with the narrator. Come on, tell me that I'm a sap for following you, Mr. Narrator Man. Okay. 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 Aha! The meeting room! It was a success!
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Whiteboard manager. I do an important role at my industry! What, sir? What is your role? Your profession? Is it war? No, I am no Spartan. I am a manager. Ooh, a manager. You must have worked hard. Yes, you could say that. What, sir, are you a manager of? Well, don't keep this under your hat, but I have an important job to manage. I am the Lord and Master, in control of the whiteboard. Nothing gets rubbed out or written without my say-so. You don't really have a job, do you? No. Okay, rated Twitch charts on the same slide depict the same information. This all seems very synergized. Core values, expenditure, shift, global, marking, parad. What's a parad? Monetize, free to play. This seems like a very self-aware game. I feel like that's what the Stanley Parable is. So let's continue. Broom closet. Okay. Can I just...
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Fuck you, I'm gonna hide in here. This is my broom right now. I am the janitor. I've been promoted.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow. Just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
Alright, fine. Fuck you, narrator. Stupid narrator. Okay.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
So what happens if I ignore the narrator? Fuck you, Mr. Narrator Man. I'm leaving the building. This seems very sort of like fire hose. Can I leave? Will it let me leave?
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, He imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back.
This is mental.
The fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Sounds like the G-Man, which is really cool. Oh, no, shockingly enough, we're back here. What?
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss, I have an office, I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real, I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I?
Jesus, narrator.
Everything went black.
This is well, quite frankly, this is one of the most unique experiences I've ever had.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
What? That was the most mental experience! Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Okay, so I'm gonna fuck you, narrate. I'm talking over you. So
decided to go to
damn
the
it!
meeting
What?
room.
Damn it! Why did I make the okay? What I'm gonna do is whack the narrator down. So basically, was that a game over? If I ignore the narrator and do my own thing, does end up? Did I kill myself? Did what? I am so unbelievably confused right now. So I'll see what happens when you go upstairs. But this is mental. This is fun though. I'll admit to being a little bit. Oh shit! Is Is this secretly a horror game during that? But this is, oh, the rate you, okay, here we go. So, we'll go upstairs instead. But this is, oh my god, guys, I don't know if this is like, this is the point of the game and I'm technically spoiling it for you by being...
Stanley walked upstairs to his
by actually
office.
Doing it, but oh wow, this is, okay, so I'll go upstairs this time. This is really good fun. I'm so glad I listened to everyone. I didn't look up anything about this game. Okay. The executive bathroom. Executor, we need more pylons. Okay. Nothing there. The boss's room.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held?
Isn't that woman's like,
what he
bag?
could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Okay. I think it's gonna close behind me. Like everything in this world just closes behind you. Oh, I want this to be like a fan room where it like blows me in the air and I get gravity fun again. Gravity fun is the best kind of fun. This is like an engine generator room with like a... This is really mental. Down we descend, deeper into the madness. Deeper as the narrator probably is going to cut me off at any... Oh no, loading screen actually did it. Damn, that didn't go as well as I planned. So, I guess what this is an experience game. Not so much as a game that you... it's really hard to tangibly describe. Normally in a retrospective I'd comment on the...
Deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
So yeah, normally in a retrospective I'd like comment on the audio, the gameplay, the graphics, but that seems completely irrelevant and just meaningless to do it for this game. It's just...
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
This seems a little bit... I kind of want to go down there and see what happens, because I bet it'll be another ending. Huh. But I also really want to see what's in the mind control facility. So I'm going to see what's in the mind control facility. I've made my choice. Bring it, narrator! Bring it! Oh. Push!
The lights rose on an enormous
We're in
room
X-Men!
packed with television screens.
Yay! I'm Magneto!
This place hold, Stanley thought to himself.
Not
Did he
Magneto,
have the
Xavier.
strength to
My
fight out?
bad. It really does look like the X-Men thing. Jeez. So is this mind control going to be like a self-parody of how I'm being controlled by the narrator and doing everything he says? It's what I'm expecting.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed.
Wow.
Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Wow, this is incredible! I'm so happy I played this game! What's this do?
Mind control facility. It was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Apparently
No.
so.
He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
This is amazing. This is like, what? And what am I even supposed to be It's like there's such... I'm just walking through environments, listening to a voice, and it's one of the best things I've ever done. What is this? What? This is... What? Is it a long game?
He found the source of the room's power. He knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Did that do anything? You know, whatever the result of this decision is, this is going to end my race perspective, because I want to explore this game, like, properly.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine. Unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Okay. Am I WinRAR?
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Is that... So that's successfully beating the game, but there's still loads of forked paths I could have gone down and ignored the narrator. This is awesome! I'm not going to go down all the other paths and stuff, because I heartily recommend that you pick this up and just have this for yourself. Listen to the narrator This is... wow! I can't... I am so blown away by this game. I literally knew nothing but the title. I've not seen any gameplay, didn't know anything that was going to happen. It's like some self-aware journey that's just like... it really... it's like it's subtly making fun of games. This is really awesome. I enjoyed this so much. I'm tempted to do another video where I go down all the other paths, just so you can see my reaction to them all. Let me know if that's something that you'd like, but yeah, for once, I'm actually happy that I didn't explain anything to do with this game and just let you experience this with me, if you'd already know what happens. But, wow, this is... I really don't know what to say. Normally I'd be like, haha, let me make fun of something real quick, and then make everyone laugh, and then do a jig. Camera just cuts to me dancing for some... none of those three things ever happen normally. Well, that's bad. I never make anyone laugh normally. Ha 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 ha. Oh, my life. No, wow, that was this. I enjoyed this. I really, really did. So my name has been Rage. This has been a Rage perspective on the Stanley Parable. I'm gonna have to think about this game for a while. This is awesome. I really want to go down the other paths now. But yeah, please remember to like if you enjoyed this. Oh, my name has been Rage. I will see you all next time. A goodbye. Do you think I can pay that narrator to, like, narrate my life? That'd be cool. Yeah.